Good evening, and thank you for joining us here in the streaming studio for Ask 9. I'm Becky Phelps.
And I'm Jim Mertens. We got through a very cold Monday, a cold Tuesday. It's moving in the right direction, isn't it?
Oh, I feel like it is. Joe Winters might disagree with us.
Yeah,
I think he kind of likes the colder temperatures, but I'm a little happier not having to keep my parka on 24/7.
Well, or dash from your house into your car as quickly as humanly possible.
God, my car's been so cold.
It is that rite of passage that we all in the Midwest have to experience when we're changing seasons, because let's be honest, come January, we'll be walking with our jackets open in temperatures like this going, oh, it's balmy. So.
I tell you, if I could have one thing,
yeah,
it would be a remote start on my car.
Yeah.
That would be the nicest
Along with
thing.
heated seats?
And heated seats, I suppose. But I think about that every winter. I think I should get remote started into my car. And it never happens because I think I can tough it out, but I should stop trying. I should just cave.
Every winter, I think.
It's an incredible invention.
Should I not hire someone to shovel my sidewalks? I think that every year.
Snow buddies.
Yeah, I know. And, we have a producer here, Tristan, who's one of the snow buddies.
Yes,
so,
it's a great program.
Yeah.
If you live in Cedar Rapids, you can sign up to have someone, a volunteer, come and shovel your driveway and your sidewalk for you.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. All right.
We have a question today. we will get to the actual show. This is coming in from Phyllis, and Phyllis is asking, where are the items that were removed from the Iowa City location of the State Historical Society?
This has become a controversial issue, of course, because the state is consolidating its Historical Society items that were both split in Iowa City and in Des Moines, and removing that Iowa City location and consolidating in Des Moines.
So the plan there is to have the Centennial building, that's the location in Iowa City, closed by, let's see, I think it's next summer.
It is next summer
because June.
Yeah, we've got. I've got the date line here. Why did I just lose that? July 1st of next year, management of the Iowa City Centennial building officially transfers to the University of Iowa.
Yeah. So the plan there is to expand some of the storage shelving units in Des Moines to make room for some of those collections, but a lot of those collections are in an unknown kind of limbo period. We don't know what's going to happen to everything in the Centennial building. Right now the plan is on pause. We'll get to that in a moment, but Phyllis's question, what happened to the items moved, goes back to earlier in the fall, I think October. There were some items starting to be taken out of the Centennial building, and those went to Des Moines. Those went to those extra units being opened up. So as far as we know, there's nothing that's just been like taken to the trash so far. Nothing has been thrown out or destroyed. Some of the stuff just started to get moved to the areas in Des Moines. Like Jim said, this plan has faced a lot of pushback. This is video from a meeting in the Iowa City Library where people were gathered to push back against these plans. They have those signs saying, "Save Iowa History." They're very concerned about the collections that potentially could be lost here.
Yeah. Well, and in October, in fact, a lawsuit also became filed in order to stop the state from doing it, saying, according to the lawsuit, it says that Iowa State Code explicitly mandates that the state maintain history research centers in both Des Moines and Iowa City. So that's kind of the crux of their entire argument.
Yeah, and later in October, the 24th, they got a pretty positive sign on that lawsuit. A judge did rule that the State Historical Society had to stop moving things out of the Iowa City location. So a great sign for that lawsuit, and right now the state is not allowed to take any more items out of the Centennial building.
And so that's the status right now.
Yes.
And also, I mean, as this is going on, you can still access the Historical Society in Iowa City. They're just asking for 3 days advance notice so staff can help arrange on-site access to collections in either location. That's what they're saying on their website right now. The impact, though, is that there's a lot of researchers who believe that a great deal of eastern Iowa history, if it's moved to Des Moines, will no longer be accessible by people. I mean, if you think about it, the University of Iowa historians and all the research that's done there, it's kind of taking that away from them. And that's part of the entire anger towards this. Also, it happened relatively quickly.
Yes.
Since from basically around April until June, the decision being made, and it just moved along very quickly. And I think I caught some people by surprise.
Yeah, the state did cite cost as the reason to close down the Centennial building. They said that the building needed a lot of maintenance, that was just going to cost too much money. So that was the reason that they decided that this was the plan they wanted to take. Again, that is now completely on pause. The lawsuit is asking for the building to stay open permanently and have all those collections permanently be accessible for research.
And some of the things, the materials that were affected, once again, this is according to the Historic Society. They said Iowa City newspapers on microfilm. Those were going to remain in Iowa City until December 2025. Also microfilmed U.S. Census, Iowa Census maps, vital records, county records, special collections. That was all going to be moved. State Historical Society of Iowa administrative records dating back to 1857. That would be affected, as well as newspaper clippings and non-Iowa history books and journals. And it's one of those things that I think they're also wading through the incredible amount of material that is in the Iowa City Centennial building that whether or not it is worth saving. And historians get very upset about blowing off the dust and throwing it away.
Absolutely. And the expansion in Des Moines is not complete. They don't have all of that space yet. That's not going to be complete until 2028. So, yeah.
So to answer part of the question, of course, is it's on hold.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to find out what a judge is going to rule after this suit was filed just a month ago. And as you well know, sometimes the legal system takes a little bit of time. But as you were saying, the folks in Des Moines, the Historic Society, believe that this will be a cost-cutting, a cost-saving venture if they can consolidate it and keep it in Des Moines.
It will be interesting to see if that explicit state law holds up. I will be interested to see how the judge rules in that. But again, a lot of support for the Centennial building. A petition to save it has 5,000 signatures. The last time we checked it, it's probably grown since then. There's a lot of movement behind saving the building. There were many, many, many protests. Several of our reporters were there in Iowa City at a lot of those protests. Keeping an eye on that, listening to people who wanted to make sure those collections were saved and still, of course, like Jim said, accessible to the public.
Yeah, I was looking at this, that a part of the original plan, only 40% of its contents will be moved to the building in Des Moines. So, I mean, that was also part of the thing that concerned people is what about that other 60%? And I think part of the argument also is that the facility in Des Moines can't handle this extra material that's coming from Iowa City. So actually in Des Moines, they're trying to create new repositories, places where you can at least keep this stuff either on a short-term basis or on a permanent basis. So, I mean, there's a lot of juggling still. There's a lot of balls in the air right now as the Historical Society is deciding exactly what it's going to do.
So hopefully, Phyllis, thank you for sending that question in. Hopefully that gives you some answers. We're going to tease ahead to tomorrow. The government shutdown still on a lot of people's minds. Thinking we're going to get a vote in the House tomorrow. That is allegedly the plan coming down from Congress. We're going to go through what you can expect to happen immediately after that passes and Trump signs it, and what might take a little bit to get back into motion.
House members have been called to return to Washington, D.C., and as you know, I mean, they're coming from Alaska, they're coming from California, they're coming from everywhere just to get back, and then to be presented with the Senate's version of the reopening. And, once again, it'll be interesting to see how the House decides something like this as well. Republicans, once again, control the House as well as the Senate, but they do need, some kind of bipartisan support.
Yeah, so regardless of what happens tomorrow, we'll have a bit of an update on where all that stands and what might get started if that gets through to President Trump. Again, thank you, Phyllis, for sending in that question. And if you have any questions that you would like us to answer here on Ask 9, send us an email or message us on Facebook. Have a great evening.